Before you even dial your mechanic's number, with that familiar anxiety and the fear of a quote that could dynamite your monthly budget, take a moment. Listen carefully, because I am about to entrust you with secrets from many years spent with my hands deep in grease, techniques that the automotive industry and its networks would prefer you to ignore completely. These are not theories read in a magazine but insider knowledge, pragmatic tricks that professionals pass among themselves far from the ears of customers. What you are about to learn here, you will not find in any manufacturer's manual, because these are solutions that often bypass the need to replace expensive parts. These methods can literally resurrect functions of your car, give it back a vigor you thought was lost forever, and sometimes with everyday products you already have in your kitchen or garage. Stay well focused until the end, because the final 3 revelations are real gems. The third, for example, is an almost alchemical procedure to deep clean a cooling system clogged by years of neglect, a technique so effective it can save you from replacing a radiator. Every minute you spend here is a direct investment in your wallet and your autonomy. Let's start with an extremely common breakdown. Your engine sputters, it lacks responsiveness, it feels like it's choking on acceleration, and its fuel consumption has skyrocketed. The check engine light might even be on. The garage's diagnosis is often final. It's the mass airflow sensor, the MAF sensor, that's faulty. A part that, depending on the model, can cost between 150 and over 500 euros, not including labor. I'm telling you, that's a fable in at least 90% of situations. This vital sensor, which measures the amount of air entering the engine so the computer can inject the perfect amount of fuel, is almost never broken. It is simply dirty, clogged by a greasy film of oil vapors from the crankcase breather and fine particles that have passed through the air filter. The miracle solution doesn't cost hundreds of euros, but less than 15 euros, the price of a can of specific MAF sensor cleaner. Be careful, never use brake or carburetor cleaner, they are too aggressive and would destroy the delicate sensor. Locate the MAF sensor, that small plastic housing inserted into the large air intake hose, just after the air filter box. Disconnect its electrical connector carefully, remove it, then generously spray the product on the small filaments or the sensitive plate inside, without ever touching them with anything. Let it air dry for 10 minutes, reassemble everything, and restart. You will find a transformed engine, smoother, more powerful, and more fuel efficient. It's a 15-minute operation that saves you a fortune. If you are already realizing the value of what you are learning, if you feel that this knowledge is giving you back control, then join our movement. Support this channel by subscribing and turning on the notification bell, because every new subscriber is another step towards a community of enlightened and independent motorists, and that gives incredible strength to continue revealing these secrets. Let's continue with your car's silent bodyguards, the fuses. Overnight, your car radio dies, the power windows refuse to move, the air conditioning no longer blows cold air. Your mind races, you imagine failures of electronic modules, burned out window motors, complex and expensive repairs. Stop. First of all, get a simple flashlight or, ideally, a 10-euro multimeter. Locate the fuse box or boxes. There is often one in the cabin, under the steering wheel or on the side of the dashboard, and another in the engine compartment. The cover usually indicates the function of each fuse. Visually inspect each suspect fuse. Through the transparent plastic you will see a small U-shaped filament. If it's intact, the fuse is good. If it's cut, broken, or if the plastic is blackened, you've found the culprit. With a multimeter set to continuity mode, the test is foolproof. Touch the 2 small metal prongs on top of the fuse. If the device beeps, current is flowing. If it remains silent, the fuse is dead. A fuse literally costs a few cents of a euro. An electrical diagnosis at a garage to find a blown fuse is rarely billed at less than 70 euros. Always keep a set of spare fuses in your glove box. It's the cheapest insurance in the world. Now imagine the nightmare scenario. You are far from everything, and you notice a thin white smoke coming from under your hood, and a characteristic sweet smell, that of hot coolant. Your temperature gauge is climbing dangerously. A hose has a small crack. This is an imminent breakdown with a very high risk of a blown head gasket, a repair costing several thousand euros. Your savior fits in a roll of high-quality electrical tape, not the cheap kind that doesn't stick. It's a temporary solution, I insist, but it is astonishingly effective. Park and wait imperatively for the engine to cool down completely. Never open a pressurized cooling system. Meticulously clean and dry the area of the leak. The slightest trace of grease or moisture will compromise the repair. Then wrap the electrical tape, stretching it very tightly with each turn. Start your wrap about 3 centimeters before the crack and end 3 centimeters after. The secret is that each turn must overlap the previous one by at least 75%. This creates a laminated and ultra-resistant sheath that will contain the pressure. This technique was taught to me by an experienced tow truck operator who used it to bring back vehicles without having to put them on a flatbed. This will allow you to reach a garage safely. Let's now talk about your car's life source, the battery and its terminals. That chalky white or greenish deposit that forms on the posts is sulfation. It's not a cosmetic detail, it's an electrical insulator that prevents current from passing correctly. This causes hard starts, strains your alternator which has to compensate, and can even create micro-interruptions that disrupt the electronic control units. Dedicated cleaners are effective, but a can of cola soda is just as good, thanks to the phosphoric acid it contains. Always disconnect the negative terminal first, then the positive. Slowly pour the soda over the corroded terminals. You will see a fizzing reaction. That's the acid neutralizing and dissolving the lead sulfate. Let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, then scrub vigorously with an old toothbrush or a small wire brush. Rinse thoroughly with clean water and dry perfectly. A little pro tip, once the terminals are clean and dry, coat them with a thin layer of contact grease or petroleum jelly before reconnecting them, starting with the positive this time. This will create a protective barrier against moisture and will significantly slow down the return of corrosion. Let's tackle the electronics with a dual technique for resetting the ECU, your car's brain. Sometimes after a repair, or for no apparent reason, your car adopts strange behavior, an oscillating idle, a hesitant automatic transmission, warning lights that come on sporadically. These bugs are often software errors that the computer has stored. The first method is the hard reset. Disconnect the negative battery terminal, and to be sure, touch the disconnected terminal to the still connected positive terminal for a few seconds. This will completely drain the internal capacitors. Leave it disconnected for at least 20 minutes. This forces a complete reset. The second method is more subtle. With the ignition off, turn the key to the on position. All the lights come on, but do not start the engine. Then press the accelerator pedal to the floor and hold it there for 20 seconds exactly. Release the pedal, wait 10 seconds, then turn off the ignition. Wait a full minute before restarting the engine. This specific procedure forces the reset of the self-adaptive values, such as the throttle body position and the transmission's shift strategies. It is incredibly effective on many models. Your most powerful secret weapon, however, remains a small device called an OBD2 scanner. For less than €30, you can buy a Bluetooth adapter that plugs into your car's diagnostic port, usually located under the steering wheel. With a free or inexpensive app on your smartphone, you have access to the same language as your mechanic. A check engine light comes on, panic sets in. The garage charges for this simple diagnostic scan between €80 and €130 just to read a code. With your own tool, you read the code in 30 seconds. A P0420 code, for example, indicates a catalytic converter problem, but often it can be triggered by a simple tired oxygen sensor or even an exhaust leak. The most powerful thing is that you can clear the code. If it was a transient error, it won't come back. If a real problem persists, it will light up again, but you will arrive at the garage already knowing what it's about, which completely changes the balance of power. Now the 3 bonus tips. First, phantom electrical faults are very often due to bad contacts. Buy a can of isopropyl alcohol. With the battery disconnected, disconnect all the sensor connectors you can reach, injectors, various probes. Spray the alcohol generously inside, it cleans the contacts of oxidation and grease, then evaporates without leaving any residue. This is preventive maintenance that can save you from diagnoses costing several €100. Second, the ABS light that comes on for no reason. Before considering changing an expensive wheel sensor, you should know that these sensors are often magnetic and get covered in metallic brake dust. Remove each wheel, locate the sensor, clean it carefully with a cloth. Often, this is enough to turn off the light. If not, try a reset by disconnecting all 4 sensors for 10 minutes. And finally, the chemical bomb for your radiator. When scale and sludge clog the fine channels of your radiator, the cooling efficiency drops dramatically. Completely drain the system of its old fluid and be careful, it is a highly toxic product that should never be disposed of in nature. Refill with demineralized water. Add a mixture of 2 large cups of baking soda and 1 cup of white vinegar for a medium capacity system. Close the system and let the engine idle for 20 minutes. The chemical reaction will create an effervescence that will dislodge the most stubborn deposits. Drain again, the water that comes out will probably be black or rusty. Rinse the system once or twice with clean water until it comes out clear, then refill with new coolant. You have just given your engine a new lease on life for the price of a few ingredients. Now it's your turn to speak. I want to read your stories. Share in the comments the worst scam attempt you've experienced at a garage, or the tip from this video that blew your mind the most. Your experience is valuable, it enriches our entire community. If this guide has opened your eyes, show it. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video. Together we are not just fixing cars, we are fixing a system, and this is just the beginning.